You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guests, Joe Palacio, Beta Benefits Insurance Services. Welcome.
Hi, Ron. Good morning.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And of course, it is another beautiful day on Ron Siegel Radio, and we are celebrating today. It is National Pasta Day. Yum! And having beaten anorexia, I am ready for... You can never go wrong with some good pasta. Actually, even more importantly than good pasta is the sauce that goes on it. I'm just saying, I'm always ready for some... Well, I'm always ready to eat, but if you were actually here in studio looking at me, you would understand that. You would know it. Amazing. I'm not going to mention the fact that it's also National Bosses Day because who cares? That's just the way it is. But we'll leave the bosses for another day. Today we're going to talk Pasta Day. Moving right along, checking out the markets today as well. Let's see what's going on in the markets. I see that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, that was down a little bit. Now it's still down. I saw earlier this morning it was up. Why are the markets jumping the way they are? Well, a lot going on. Oil prices are down once again. Oil prices are down. Sounds like a broken record, doesn't it? That we're always saying oil prices, they're jumping. They're still holding steady, a little over $40 a barrel. But we're going to figure that one out as well. What's going on in the oil markets? Could it be from another country? I don't think they're the ones hacking the oil markets as well, or is it just that our markets haven't figured out that you can't trust the Middle East when they say that they're going to hold prices or hold their output? Who cares anymore? At $50 a barrel, I think we can get as much as we need out of North Dakota, South Dakota. We don't have to worry about some of these other places, unless, of course, Hillary gets in. Then she'll probably want to regulate that, too. She already told us the coal miners are out of business. She's putting them out, and she's done a good job of it so far. Right now, though, I'm looking at AAA, the national average on gasoline, $2.24.1 a gallon. That's the national average. State of confusion, we're paying $2.78.3, $2.78.3, second highest in the country, only to the state of Hawaii. Unbelievable how we keep getting ourselves into issues like this. But you know something? We keep voting for it. We like the idea of more taxes. This is California, the formerly Golden State, or actually if you're in Sacramento, it might still be the Golden State. 42.35 cents per gallon is what we spend on taxes on our gasoline. 42.35 cents per gallon going to just to the taxes. Are you getting your money's worth? That's the big question I would have there. I know I certainly don't see it. Every single thing that we look at, they talk about what more money they need from our politicians. How can they spend more of our money? Have you started looking at any of the ballot propositions that are coming up? I've been watching those ballot propositions, and it's just amazing how many of them. I just saw a new one the other day that was coming for those of you that are in Los Angeles County. They want $1.2 billion, a bond issue of $1.2 billion to figure out how to deal with homelessness. Now, why do they need $1.2 billion to figure it out? Maybe they ought to just start doing the figuring first before they start spending the money. Do you remember Solyndra? Yeah, the government doesn't know how to deal with these things. When they start talking $1.2 billion, how many houses can you build with $1.2 billion? How many hotels can you build with $1.2 billion? I just wonder where they're putting the money. I'm looking at the propositions. Now, I love watching how they deal with the propositions, right? I mean, I don't know about you. Everybody that I know wants our kids to have a great education and safe schools. Given. But then you look here, Proposition 51 says we need another $9 billion for education and school infrastructure. Where's the money going to? We already got a lottery that was supposed to give us world-class schools. But they didn't tell us that while they send that money to the schools, they diminish the state budget for schools. Now they want another $9 billion there. I noticed in South Orange County, they've got an $880 million school bond. In Anaheim Hills, Orange Unified, they've got a $400 or $500 million school bond. Can't they figure out how to deal with these things? Amazing. You start looking at, I know how we're going to take care of it. We're going to raise taxes on cigarettes. Really? No! Now, I'm not a smoker. I don't like being in areas where there's smoking going on. My personal opinion. If somebody wants to smoke, that's their business. It's legal. Why tax them to death? Just a simple thought. Oh, wait a second. We can deal with grocery bags. There's a good one. We need to make sure we have a law to deal with grocery bags. Unbelievable. But let's let killers out on the street early. You're starting to catch a little bit of a pattern here. Unbelievable watching what's going on in our communities. But, you know something, maybe we'll get... Oh, no, we're talking about the state of confusion. We ship our jobs out, or we import illegal aliens to take the jobs, and then we say, why are there no jobs? Think about some of these issues. We talked last week that retail sales were down. Why do you think some of these numbers are coming out that way? Now we look at industrial production rose 0.1%. 0.1%. Can you believe that? I mean, we're not producing anything. The Empire State Regional Manufacturing Index fell to negative 6.8. The economists figured it was going to be a positive 1. And you think that we're wondering, and you wonder, and all that we'd hear about in the news. Now, this is where it really gets fun and exciting for a political junkie like me. All we hear about in the news now, we've got a 9.7% real unemployment number as measured by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, U6, 9.7%. We've got a GDP of about 1.2%. We're not producing anything. We've got a doubling of our deficit. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet has tripled. And what are we talking about with the leader of our country? What he might have done 10 years ago. Who cares? Let's talk about who's going to create jobs. I just watched a report this morning. Siemens Company in upstate New York. Gentleman had to teach 3 people from India how to take his job. He called Hillary Clinton. She was busy giving a speech to Siemens Company or Tata, who is going to be providing those jobs. Think about it. That's who we're talking about. Taking the money from them. Disney. Now, we love Disney here in Southern California. They put a lot of money into our economy. As a smart corporation, they are sending jobs overseas. They can't handle all the regulation that they get from the Obama administration, from the federal government. It's a business decision. They're in business not for you. They're not in business for me. They're in business for their shareholders and to make a profit. When it becomes more profitable to send the jobs overseas, that's what they're supposed to do. That's their fiduciary responsibility. Think about it. But we want to talk about Donald Trump and the women that he enjoyed while he was younger. I don't know about you. Men or women, you probably had some escapades when you were younger that you don't want all over the front page of the New York Times, although the New York Times only will carry that if you are a conservative. They will not, if you say you're a Democrat, don't worry, it won't be on the New York Times. It's just the way it is. So think, it won't be on NBC or MSNBC, Hee-Haw, or any of the others either. You know, they're all, Clinton News Network won't cover it. Just going out there and letting you know the way it is. But think about these issues. Are you ready for this? Are you getting the information you need to make an educated decision? Because it's not a 4-year decision. Think about it, folks. You're talking about a 100-year decision. The rulings that come out from the United States Supreme Court and our federal judges are going to last well past you and I are not on the correct side of the sidewalk. Just the way it's going to be. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, if you're retiring in the next year, we're going to give you some ideas of things that you need to do now. Don't disqualify yourself. Over half of all loans approved, people think they can't qualify for it, and I'm going to tell you why you can. A simple guide to estate planning, Medicare 101. We're going to chat about it. I think we might even be getting close to the open enrollment period, but I'm not there yet, so I don't know. But we're going to talk about it. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But you can find the replay, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment. Today being brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. If you're over 62 years of age, you've got a little bit of equity in your property, the reverse mortgage might be the right solution for you. It is not the same product that 3/4 of the seniors I talk to think it is. You don't lose your home. No one else is going to take your home. Nobody really wants your home except you. The bank doesn't want it. They don't know what to do with it. Think about it. Let's get the information you need, and I will put you in touch with Jay Kaplan. He is an expert in the reverse mortgage world. AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. So if you are contemplating retiring next year, here's some moves you might want to make now. Number one, plan the transition. A lot smoother if you make the planning of that transition time. Check out your Social Security benefits. Now think about this one. The difference between taking Social Security at age 62 when you're first eligible, if you are eligible, and age 70. That is a $500,000 decision. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not getting my guidance, my financial planning guidance from somebody down the street or somebody in line at McDonald's. Just saying. Or going to the early bird meals over at Denny's. Not the place to get that guidance. So let's think about that. There are people that specialize in it that can do analysis in that. I'll put you in touch with the right people. Plan Medicare and the supplements. We're going to talk about a lot about that this morning with Joe Palacio. That's our topic today. Create a post-retirement budget. Most people do not realize that you're going to need a lot of money nowadays in retirement. Hopefully you'll need a lot of money in retirement. It used to be that when Social Security started, the idea was you retire at 62, you die at 63, and Social Security will take care of you for a year. Now the idea is that people are still trying to retire at 62, but they're living till 85, and you can't live off that Social Security money. Pay down all the negative debt that you can. Credit cards, car loans, student loans, all of those items. I am not a fan of paying down or paying off a mortgage. If you've already done that, let's talk about the reverse mortgage. There are better places to put your money. It's called arbitrage. Make some money. Dial back investment risk. Now, if you've been listening to Ron Siegel Radio, you probably or should not have investment risk. Even if you're a young person, why would you have investment risk when Al Manfrey told us that his clients are getting about 8% return with very little risk, maybe even no risk? Can't say no risk, it's against the law, but they're not losing money. Update legal documents and policies. Make sure you've got that will and trust in place, and design your portfolio so it's throwing off the income that you need to meet your budget. That is the real-time real estate segment, again brought to you by AskAboutReverseMortgages.com. I'm going to chat this morning, and I get this a lot. I got two different calls recently from listeners, or two different themes, I should say, from listeners. The big themes that I'm hearing right now is 23% increase in your Obamacare premiums or your medical premiums. The other one I hear is, what do I do with Medicare? And my comment, I'm not 62. I don't take it. So what I wanted to do is get you somebody that knows what you're going to do with Medicare. And maybe some of us, now, don't you dare change that dial if you don't qualify for Medicare. Unless you have nobody that you know, no mother, no father, no grandmother, no grandfather, no aunt, no uncle, no friends, and they don't have any of those people either. We want to learn about Medicare today. Joe what is Medicare? Let's start from the beginning.
Well, Medicare is a federal health insurance.
Okay.
And so we all pay into.
You scare me, Joe, when you say federal health insurance.
Yeah, so when we start working, say at 16 years old, we start paying taxes. And on that paycheck or pay stub, you'll see something called FICA, Federal Income Contribution Act. And that funds Social Security income and also Medicare. So you'll have federal health insurance when you turn 65.
Okay.
There's other people that can get Medicare if they're not 65. People that are disabled for at least 2 years can get Medicare. People that have ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, can get Medicare, and people with end-stage renal disease. So end-stage renal disease,
okay.
Kidney failure where they're getting dialysis, they qualify for Medicare. So how that works is you have to work at least 10 years in the United States or 40 quarters to qualify for Medicare Part A and Part B.
Okay.
And so when can you sign up for Medicare? 64 years old.
So that 10 years, that's there's a theme with 10 years. Because I think 10 years has to do with what we're doing with Social Security. They look at Social Security as 10 years also, right?
Yes.
Okay, so 10 years worked to qualify for Medicare Part A and Part B.
Correct.
Interesting. And I would assume that there's some exceptions for that for disability or something if you're unable to have worked 10 years?
Correct. If you've worked for 10 years and then at 50 years old you had an accident at work and you became disabled, you'll get Social Security disability income.
Okay.
And if you get to that 2 years or 24 months, then you qualify for Medicare. You can actually sign up for Medicare.
Interesting. Okay. So you started mentioning, you said there that 10 years qualifies you for Part A and Part B.
Correct.
You got to go back because I'm a simple guy, Joe. Part A and what does that mean? How many parts are there?
Part A is your hospital insurance.
Okay.
So it's anything inpatient.
So if I didn't work 10 years, I can't go to the hospital?
Well, you can. There's ways. If you didn't work 10 years, there's a way to purchase Part A.
Okay.
And you can purchase Part A. There is a premium per month for Part A if you didn't reach that threshold, and that is about $411 for 2016. However, if you were a stay-home mom or dad and didn't work at all and didn't pay taxes, you can still draw a Social Security or Medicare through your spouse. So you don't necessarily have to be paying into that FICA.
Okay, good. So if my wife is staying home, I'm going to wonder why she's staying home, but I want her to go work so I can stay home.
Right.
But she can still get Part A Medicare, being that I've worked?
And B.
And B.
Yes.
Do I need both?
You do need both. You don't have to have both, but if you are in a perfect world, if you want to get a supplement, a PPO, Medicare Advantage plan, PPO, a supplement, Medicare supplement, or the
What's a Medicare supplement?
Medicare supplement is a... I have to go back here because with Part A and Part B, the government says we'll help pay 80% of co-payments, co-insurance, deductibles, and you're going to be on the hook for 20% of medical costs. So they tell us, or you have to go cover that 20% gap coverage.
Okay, so now I'm starting to hear another term that I hear all the time, something about gaps.
Medigap.
Okay.
They call it Medicare supplement now, the insurance companies.
Okay.
So when I'm looking at an application or a booklet, it says Medicare supplement. It doesn't say Medigap. Medigap's a good term because it fills that 20% gap that you're on the hook for.
Look, and it also saves the fact that the government's trying to confuse us because we've all heard about that gap insurance for so long.
Yes.
That now they don't put it in the book, so now we got to look and figure, or we got to call Joe and say, Joe, what the heck is the difference? How do we tie in? What's this gap thing I've heard about all these years?
Correct.
Okay, so we got to Part A and Part B. There's a 20% deductible. Part A is my hospitalization, right?
Correct.
And what is Part B?
Part B is outpatient. So your doctors, your healthcare providers, your primary care doctor, your specialist, your lab work, x-rays, MRIs, CT scans, blood work, that kind of healthcare.
So I need, at some point, I need to have coverage for both of those? Those aren't totally free?
You've paid into that through that FICA
okay.
fund on your paycheck.
Okay, so that insurance is paid for already for the last 30 or 40 or 50 years.
Correct.
Okay.
So when you, at 64, turning 65, you sign up for Part A, you're going to get automatically.
Okay.
You don't, and there's no premium for Part A. Part B, you will have to sign up for Part B, and there is a premium. And right now for 2016, that Part B premium is $121.80. So, but again, that's called original Medicare right there, Part A and Part B.
Okay.
Per month. Sorry, $121.80 per month.
Per month. Wow. Okay.
For Part B. So that's considered original Medicare.
Okay.
And A, you'll be automatically enrolled. B is a little different. If you, like you mentioned, Social Security income, you can draw it at 62.
Right.
So if you are 64 turning 65 and you're thinking of signing up for Part B,
right,
you're going to get Part A automatically. You will get sent a Social Security or a Medicare card with a claim number and the effective dates for A and B automatically if you are drawing Social Security already. Now, if you've delayed Social Security and you haven't started drawing on it, you have to go to the Social Security Administration office to sign up for Part B, or you can do it online, whichever you prefer.
Wow, this is pretty. We need to make sure that we're going to continue our conversation with Joe Palacio about this, because I think there's a lot more to come. We haven't even talked about, if there's a Part A and a Part B, there's probably a Part C and a Part D, and we're going to find out about those as well, if they even exist. I don't know. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we will also chat about half of all loans being approved. Yeah, we might be a little off on what the FICO scores need to be, so we're going to talk about that as well. And a simple guide to estate planning, all of that and more. You can reach us at our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. The audio broadcasts are, if you're not getting all this at one time, ronsiegelradio.com. The show will be in the archives there as well. Make sure that you stay tuned, because we will be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990, or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. $1,990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal Housing Lender.
Do you own real estate or have assets over $150,000? Do you know one of your heirs will be the probate courts and the IRS? If you don't have a living trust, you will go through probate. Call Heritage Financial Services toll free at 1-855-434-7400 for a free review. Check us out on Facebook, Heritage Financial Service in Lake Forest, California. That's 1-855-434-7400. Again, 1-855-434-7400. 7400.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. Gold Star Mortgage, when you are ready to buy that next house, they've got the programs, the products that you need to get involved and get your next home. And they can also clean up some of the myths that are out there. One big myth, I hear so many people disqualifying themselves from getting a home loan because they're thinking that they need to have an unrealistic FICO score. Countless studies have shown that potential home buyers and even current homeowners have an inflated view of what is really required to qualify for a mortgage in today's market. One study by the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania revealed many millennials have not yet considered purchasing a home simply because they don't believe they can qualify. Article quoted Jessica Lotz, the National Association of Realtors Managing Director of Survey Research, as saying that there is a significant population that does not think they will be approved for a mortgage, so they don't even try. Quote from Fannie Mae CEO Tim Mayopoulos, quote, I do think there's a sense out there in the marketplace among borrowers that credit may not be available, especially for people with lower FICO scores, unquote. Ellie Mae's vice president, Jonas Moe, recently encouraged borrowers to know their options before assuming that they do not qualify for a mortgage, and I'll quote him as well. Many potential home buyers are disqualifying themselves. You don't need a 750 FICO score nor 20% down payment to buy, unquote. I'm going to post a distribution chart on Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook to give you an idea. 53.9% of mortgages have a FICO score between 600, get that, 600 and 749, between 600 and 749. If you want to own a home, don't go just assuming that you have all the current guidelines. There are lots and lots of programs out there. Give me a call. I'll put you in touch with the team over at Gold Star Mortgage and see if we can get you the right property. Get you, even if you don't qualify today, I don't care. Call. Let's get a plan for you. We were just chatting, one of the real estate professionals that comes on the radio program on a regular basis. We had a conversation over the weekend chatting about a veteran who's going to pay more money this year, or right now actually, to get a new lease. The down payment for his lease, the security deposit for his lease, is going to be more money than it would have cost him to get a new loan using his VA eligibility. Think about that. That is the Mortgage Minute, again brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage. We're going to continue our conversation this morning. Joe Palacio is with us. Beta Benefits Insurance Services. We're talking Medicare today. And I'm finding out that very similar to many of the listeners who call Ron Siegel Radio thinking they understand the reverse mortgage, a lot of people have a misconception. It might even be from the terminology changes is what we're learning right now as well. Think about this. Jay Kaplan was on a couple weeks ago, and he talks about the fact that the real name of the reverse mortgage, that name came out in the mid-'80s. The program has totally changed. It changes every year many times. But in the 80s, they called it reverse mortgage. Today, the real name, the technical name, is home equity conversion mortgage. Now, we were learning in the last segment, if you didn't catch it, shame on you, but the replays will be available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube, or ronsiegelradio.com in the archives. I always have heard about this gap coverage. Well, last segment we learned that that's gone now. There's a replacement term. So if you're scanning through all your paperwork for gap coverage, hey, you might need to talk to Joe because there might be some differences in there. So we learned a little bit about Part A, Part B in the last segment. Is there a Part C, Joe?
There is a Part C.
Okay,
Part C is a Medicare Advantage plan, also known as Part C, and it's an HMO. And it's one of there's really three options when you're looking to cover that 20% gap or the co-payments, deductibles, co-insurances. The first one we spoke earlier was a supplement, and then you have to purchase a standalone prescription drug plan or a PDP.
Okay.
That's kind of where people have a little bit more money. They don't mind spending a little bit of cash for a premium, and that premium pays for a physician that they can make an appointment to see. There's no referral process. They can go to their primary care, see a specialist without having to waiting for a referral from a medical group.
And that's Part C.
That is a supplement with the prescription drug plan and original Medicare A and B. Part C is another option if you're worried about keeping some money in your pocket. You want to think about Medicare Advantage Plan D because it has the prescription drug plan embedded in there.
So Part D gets me prescription drugs.
Correct, and that's considered Part C.
What is?
MAPD and Part C are the same. It's the same thing. It means the same.
Back up. You just lost me right there.
Okay.
So Parts MAPD.
Medicare Advantage Plan D for drug.
Okay.
Is the same thing as Part C. Similar to supplement and Medigap.
So Part D is the same as Part C.
Correct.
Whoa, okay.
No. MAPD, Medicare Advantage Plan D, is the same as Part C. So they're the same.
Ooh,
I know. So that's your second option. And that's...
Wait. We're on A, B, and C, and now you said that's my second option. That sounds like three options.
A and B is...
I'm a simple guy,
Joe. Okay.
Joe.
All right. So Part C, we'll just stay with Medicare Advantage Plan D.
Okay. Now we're at D, okay.
We'll just stay, not the D, but because I'm saying D because it's MAPD, because the drug
okay, so that's not Part D, it's MAPD.
Right, it's embedded,
Gotcha.
It's embedded in that plan.
Gotcha.
So you'll have original Medicare.
Gotcha, okay, that's
A and B.
That's A and B.
Then you go out and talk to a broker like myself and say, I don't want to spend much money. I want no premium. The premium they will have is the Part B premium, which everyone pays.
$121.80 per month.
Yes. So how do we fill that gap? Well, you can go to an HMO. That's an MAPD. It's an HMO.
Okay.
So you'll have your primary care doctor, and you'll also have a medical group which coordinates referrals. So if you are having something with your sinuses and you want to see an ears, nose, and throat specialist, you'll have to speak to your primary care first. You can't just make an appointment to go see an ENT, ears, nose, and throat specialist.
Gotcha.
That referral will be sent to the medical group. The medical group coordinates referrals. So 2 to 5 days later, they will call the office and let the office know, the doctor's office, your family doctor, and say, yes, that Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Nguyen can go see their ENT now.
Okay.
They've been approved.
So that got us Part A, B, C, and D. So that's all those three.
Right.
We work together.
So Medicare Advantage Plan D is just an HMO with a medical group, no premium. They have networks of doctors, so you can't just go out and see anybody. With the other option we were talking about, the supplement, Medicare supplement, you can make an appointment to see any doctor. There's no network, there's no referral, but you're paying a premium for that. And that premium could be anywhere from, if you're new to Medicare, it depends on the age, your county, and the plan. But if you're new to Medicare, you're going to be paying another, in addition to the Part B premium, you're going to be paying another $160 to $190 to get that flexibility of seeing whomever you want.
So that's a new supplement then, an additional supplement.
That's the supplement versus the MAPD, which is the HMO. The supplement gives you a little more flexibility, but you're paying.
Gotcha. Okay.
So people with a little bit more money may want to have that supplement to not have to worry about having to deal with networks and referrals. everyone's unique.
Right.
Every situation is unique. I deal a lot with the HMOs. I do have a book of business with the supplement arena. But the MAPD, the nice thing is also with the MAPD, you get ancillary benefits, they call it. So you get a free gym membership. You get...
really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they want you healthy.
They don't want to spend any money.
Exactly. So they want, hopefully...
Can I go to any gym I want to?
That's a great question. So anybody that participates in that particular, it's called Silver Sneakers or Silver and Fit. Those are the two companies that they participate with. And you can go to LA Fitness, 24-Hour Fitness, Crunch, Nifty at 50. Those are some of the gyms that you can participate in. If you get an MAPD plan, they offer that free with no monthly.
Okay, that sounds pretty interesting.
Gym membership, correct.
MAPD. Okay, so now wasn't there a Part D and a Part E or something like that to go too?
Well, there's the Part D is the drug prescription.
Okay.
Benefit, and that's already, if you're looking at the MAPD, that's already in there, so you don't have to go out and purchase it.
Got it.
So what we do as insurance broker is we
save it.
Analyze.
We're going to talk about that when we come back. Why do I want to get not only the great information and guidance and education from Joe? What else what other benefits are we going to get? That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Again, when we come back, we'll talk more. We're going to finish up our conversation and do everything we possibly can to confuse you even more so you'll call Joe. That's just kind of the way we work here on Ron Siegel Radio. We're also going to talk about a simple guide to estate planning. You know me, I am a simple guy, so we're going to figure out that simple guide. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send
you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. In the Word on Wealth segment today, being brought to you by Processing for a Cause. If you're already taking a credit card, why aren't you using Processing for a Cause? They're a great organization. They will allow you to take some of the money that you're paying to the credit card processing company and give it to the charity of your choice, the nonprofit organization of your choice. Love the idea of being able to go out there and just help nonprofits. There's a lot of them out there. And there's a lot of them that are doing good things. They just don't have enough money. Think about that concept. That's why we like to talk about these groups right here. A simple guide for estate planning. That is our topic today. Amazing how many people don't plan for the inevitable. Now think about this. We had Al Manfrey on last week. We were talking about wills and trusts. 80% of the trusts are not funded properly. 80%. Figure that one. So you go and you get what you pay for in many, many instances. Now Al puts together a trust that's unbelievably inexpensive, and then he will give you a discount if you will go to RSR gift bag. You just text 79564 and then just put in the box there, RSR gift bag. There's a $300 discount coupon to do a trust and a will, and then you get free, as a listener of Ron Siegel Radio, free every year. They're going to come back and do an annual checkup and make sure your will and trust is still in place. So what is the guide for estate planning? It's simple. Number one, you got to meet with Al. You got to get your will and a trust done, a living will. You need to have powers of attorney. It's all included in the process. So you have to have a power of attorney for medical. You have to have a power of attorney for financial, all of these different powers. And they got to be done the right way. You've got to fund your trust. Think about this. If you haven't funded your trust, the state of California becomes one of your heirs. Maybe I think it's 5%. So if you have a house that's worth, and they don't care about how much your equity is. Say your house is worth $500,000, 5% of that off the top goes to the state. There are other estate planning tips to think about. That's why I say very, very simply, very, very frequently, you need a household board of directors. And I'll provide it for you for free. Text ATP to 79564. ATP to 79564. We'll put together a household board of directors. You fill out a survey. Takes about less than 5 minutes to do the survey. And we're going to introduce you. Do you need somebody to help you with your Medicare insurance? Do you need somebody to help you with your wills, your trust, with your real estate, with your... Hopefully you don't need a divorce attorney, family planning. All of these different people, they're part of it. Insurance people, credit repair, mortgage. It's called household board of directors. Big corporations have board of directors. Why don't you? Continuing our conversation this morning with Joe Palacio, Beta Benefits. Look, they got a tongue twister there, Joe. I can't even speak. I haven't had enough coffee, I guess. Beta Benefits Insurance Services. Beta, it's like a fish, right? Beta, isn't that a fish?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I remember in my aquarium days, a beta was a fish. It's also, just trying things. But here, what we're chatting about with Joe this morning is getting you educated as either you are reaching the age of Medicare, or maybe a loved one, family, friend, your wife's parents, husbands, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles. Think about, and if you've been listening to us this morning, Joe's given us a great overview of Medicare, Part A, Part B, MAPD, all the acronyms. I think we've missed Z and Y are the only letters that we haven't got in the acronyms yet. We might find those as we go along, but we're getting an overview here. Now, one of the things I say all the time on Ron Siegel Radio, our purpose this morning is, number one, not to confuse you, but we're not looking for you to get a job as a Medicare expert. What I'm looking to do, my goal on Ron Siegel Radio is to educate. Not to educate with all the answers, because, I'm sitting here, I sat for a couple of hours with Joe and his partner a couple weeks ago to learn about what we're going to chat about this morning. I've done some of these things with my mom, and I am still confused by it. But what I do know is I can call Joe and get questions answered. If I can give you enough questions to ask and realize that you don't know it all, none of us do, and the internet is not your friend, it's not the right source to get the information, then I've done my job this morning. Because Joe's been giving us some great information, but it's an overview. During the break, Joe and I are talking about the Part B expense of $121.80 a month. But there's exceptions to it. Maybe you don't have to pay it. Maybe you have to pay a little bit more. We're not going to go into that. There are exceptions. If you want to know about the exceptions, call me, 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with Joe. I don't know it. He does. There are supplements for prescription drugs, $17 to $34, you said, Joe?
That's a range.
A range?
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about what gets you into which range. You want to know about it? 1-800-306-19. I'm not doing an infomercial here because I don't make any money at this. If you call, fine. If you don't call, fine. I want you to get the right information from Joe. That's why we're sharing that information. So what about long-term care, Joe? Does Medicare cover long-term care?
No, long-term care is not covered.
Not covered.
Not covered. So that's something that my business partner, Matt Kershaw, has a lot of experience with long-term care strategies, and so that's something I really can't talk too much about.
But you got the exact part that we wanted, Joe. Is it's not covered in your Medicare, and you need to talk to an expert.
Exactly.
There we go. Okay, so now we're experts on long-term care. It doesn't come with Medicare, and we need to talk to Matt.
Yes.
Perfect. See, I can say that whole thing in 30 seconds. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So if I need a living facility, if I need to go into a senior community, is my Medicare going to help me there, or is that an out of the question one also?
Assisted living facility will not be covered by Medicare.
Not covered by Medicare.
That is something that you have to either have a long-term care policy that you've been paying into.
Okay.
That's going to help pay for that long-term care facility. And that long-term care facility can be very expensive. I mean, there's a range, but I've seen it as low as $3,000 a month to $10,000 a month.
Wow. Okay, so that goes back into what we talked about at the start of the B block in the real-time real estate segment, is planning. And you're not too young to start planning. Now, I'm not, again, I don't have the licenses anymore. I used to have all these different licenses that would require me to follow all the compliance people. And I gave up all those licenses. I can just talk to you now. Now, Joe, he has got to follow the licensing, right? So we're not going to get him involved in these things. But if you are 25 years old or 30 years old, and you do some of the strategies that are available, you can have long-term care coverage for a fraction of the number that Joe was just talking about. But again, remember, insurance companies are not there to save you money. They're there to make a profit. They're there to take over your risk. It's not their risk. I know that the government wants you to hear that you're entitled. Well, you're not. And they're not mandated. They're not the government. They're not your parent. They're not mandated to cover everything in the world, including a broken fingernail. Their goal is to make money. That's the way it is. That's called capitalism. And they're buying or they're selling an assumption of risk. That's all insurance really is. You want to get coverage, they're going to charge you this Medicare supplement, the MAPD, I think it is, for $160 or whatever.
The supplement, Medicare supplement, not the MAPD.
Okay, Medicare supplement. That's different. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Medicare supplement, they're going to charge you that in hopes that you don't need it. But if you need it, you've got the coverage. Basically got that right?
Yes.
Okay, not even causing any compliance problems. Trying not to. Okay, so do you do seminars? What's the easiest way to get some more information on this stuff, Joe?
To call me. That's the main thing, because everyone has a unique situation, and we do have a Turning 65 seminar. We'll do workshops here and there, but the main thing is for me to work on your particular case, because we look at your finances, your prescription medications, your list, your doctors, your network, a lot of factors. But we do.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all.
No, and that's
no kimonos here.
No, and you mentioned promos. If they call me, because another main question halfway through when I'm helping someone is, what do you charge? What do I have to pay you? Are you going to bill me? As a broker, insurance broker, we cannot charge any fees for helping someone look and see if that plan's the right fit for them.
And is there a difference between going to you, what the prices would be going to you, versus going directly to Medicare?
Great question. I'm certified with all the major plans.
Okay.
All the major insurance companies. I'm not their employer. I'm actually work for my customers. People that call me, I work for them. I get paid if we sit down and for an hour, 2 hours, and we find a plan for someone, and I send that application in. The insurance company pays me to send that application. I don't bill my customer. And the nice thing is, to protect the consumer, the commission rate is flat all the way across the board for all the insurance companies.
Beautiful.
So I'm not steering somebody towards an insurance company to make a bigger commission. So it's basically analyzing everything and everyone's situation and then putting them in the right...
Getting great guidance. That's what we want for you. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.